Hello, my name is David Green. I'm a professor at the University of Virginia. My area of expertise is in materials science and chemical engineering. And one of my hobbies is history. In fact, basically, history is my hobby. And in that regard, I like doing research that gives me some understanding of what my family history is relative to the formation of the United States. In particular, some of the earliest people I've been able to trace is my fourth great grandmother, Anne Red, in Brownsburg, Virginia. And this comes about really through my father. And actually, not only my father, but from his ascendants, particular his great grandmother, Lucy Green, who I'll talk about in a second. So, in general, I've always been curious about my origins. My father has been a person who researched these, and my the research that I've done has been connected to the research that he's done, which represents a multi-generational effort that at least goes back to about 1860 with my great great grandmother Lucy Green, again, who raised or helped raise my father, Preston Cary Green Jr. So, really you're talking about, again, a tremendous multi-generational effort that I'm just adding to. My dad was instrumental in getting me interested in this because what he would do is that he would drive me around to various rural communities connected to his family. My dad was very interested in Civil War history because of his uncles, Gabriel Duncan and Kane Duncan, who fought in the 23rd United States Colored Troops. And in general, the United States Colored Troops were instrumental in the United States winning the Civil War. And that statement, of course, is supported by Abraham Lincoln, who says pretty adamantly that the United States Colored Troops helped tip the tide of the Civil War to the United States. And so through Lucy Green, who talked to my father about her uncles, Kane and Gabriel Duncan, who talked to my dad about the family background in Fauquier County, Virginia, helps me to connect to that history of understanding the importance of my ancestors and the fact that the United States is still here. And otherwise, I mean, it's pretty easy to make the statement that if the United States hadn't won the Civil War, the United States, basically, we wouldn't be here voting for presidents today. So in addition to that, in Brownsburg, Virginia, where I connect to my relative Anne Red, that was, again, connected to my father. He had driven me around Brownsburg, Virginia, which is in Rockbridge County, Virginia, right next to Augusta County, Virginia. And my father had introduced me to a whole slew of relatives there. And so when I drove around Brownsburg, Virginia, just recently, it was like, oh my gosh, I've been here. And that was because my dad had brought me there. In this research, I've also linked up with distant relatives, in particular, one named Maurice Miller, who is a direct descendant of a man named Levi Miller. Levi Miller is Anne Red's grandson. Levi Miller is pretty much the poster child of the Black Confederate myth. People who are saying that Blacks fought for the Confederacy will use Levi Miller as a person to say, well, look at him, he fought for it. But Levi Miller was never introduced into the Confederate Army as a Black soldier. And so that's where, again, understanding what my background and my history is helps to connect to me to the larger perspectives that occur in American history. So overall, my goal in connecting back to my history is to get a factual representation of myself, as well as a factual representation of the United States, good and bad, warts and all.